Right guys, welcome into the cockpit of the Boeing 767-300. We're going to start with preparing the aircraft itself right now. And we're going to start with the FMC, of course. I'm going to just do it very quickly because our departure time is nearing very soon. So we're entering the gross weight. As you can see, I've aligned the IRS already. At least that's how the aircraft was left. 133.2 tons, and we have a reserve of 3,000 kilograms. Cruising altitude will be flight level 360, and the cost index will be 30. Alright, we go to the takeoff page. We'll use flaps 5. Our center of gravity is 19%, and this will give us a trim setting, as you can see, 3.6. Just put that in there, 3.6. We just use maximum takeoff thrust for this takeoff, as the runway is not very long, so I don't want to, skid off at the end of the runway. So we'll go to the routes. Of course, we're going to fly from Minsk, and the active runway is 13 to Helsinki. Our flight number is ARCAFly 042 Papa, and we're not using any company routes. Departure from Minsk, runway 13, and our first waypoint on our route is Cuban, so we'll be flying. Let's take a look at the Cuban 1 Alpha, right? Departure, sorry. Alright, we'll go over to the route page. As you can see, the Cuban 1 Alpha and to Cuban, and then we're gonna fly via airway Mike 845 to. Oh, it's not in there. 854, sorry. Mike 854 to Dublin. And via Papa 171 to Intor. There we go. And let's take a look. The arrival at Helsinki. The current active runway at Helsinki is runway 04 left. So let's take a look if runway 04 left is active. Then we're going to fly the Intor 3 Bravo arrival, ILS 04 left. Intor 3 Bravo arrival. Okay, that's all selected. We'll check if all the waypoints are in there. So we have Cubbin, Dublin, Almik, Abava, Betal, Valga, Risku, Eklon, Gonos. Then we have Arsam, Intor, and then the arrival into. Guess we'll just. Let's take a look. Hey, Sarah. There we go. That's the arrival into Helsinki, but we're gonna expect factors, so that shouldn't be no problem. We're gonna activate and execute. We'll just go through the VNAV page here. The transition altitude at Minsk is 6,000 feet, as you can see on this chart. So we'll answer that there. Oh, that's too much. 6,000. Then we to the cruise page. As you can see, the optimum cruise altitude is 370, but we have to fly an even fly level, so we're going to fly at flight level 360, and we're going to stay there throughout the flight. And in the descent, that's all correct. Okay, so if we look at the progress, we have plenty of fuel left at Helsinki, but due to the weather, due to the foggy conditions, it might be handy to have plenty of fuel with us in case we need to halt or divert to another airport where the visibility is much better. So that's it for the programming, and we are now going to ask ATC clearance. Let's first listen to the ATIS, just to be sure that we have all the latest information. Alright, so let's listen to the ATIS. As you can see out here, it is pretty foggy outside, so we're going to switch to the ATIS frequency of 12.885. 12885. There we go.
Good departure, runway 13, transition level 70, wind variable between 140 and 200 degrees, 3 meters per second, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, cloud view, cumulonimbus 1500 meters, temperature 1 to 3.7 kh 100 5 6 millimeters. Acknowledge information. Golf Minsk ATIS. Информация. Golf 18:00. Заход. ОСП. Заход.
They're switching to Russian or something like that right now. We have runway 13, which is wet. The braking action is good though, and transition level 70. Well, that's not relevant to us. The wind is 140 between 140 and 200 degrees at 3 meters per second. That's another, metric they use. And visibility seems to be greater than 10 kilometers according to the ATIS. I'm not sure if that's true, but we'll just have to live with it, I guess. And let's take a look. Take a look at the QNH is 1009er, so I'm going to set that here. 1009er. Alright, we'll do a radio check first, and let's take a look. We'll just prepare the aircraft. We have the V speeds. Runway heading on takeoff is 129er. Set that first. 129er. We will take a look. I have a takeoff speed of 146 knots. And we'll initially climb to 6,000, I guess. It's not stated on the chart anywhere. Okay. I guess we just can go in one go. So that's all complete. So the departure is pretty straightforward. We're gonna fly the Cuban 1 Alpha departure. We're gonna climb straight ahead to 1300 feet or above, and then turn left heading 307 degrees to intercept the 337 degrees radial. So we're gonna set that at up here as well, 337 of the Mike November Sierra VOR. Yeah, we're gonna ask clearance. We have information Golf right now, and let's see, ground is online, so we're gonna tune 121.905. We already have that in there. So we're gonna do a radio check first to make sure that everything is working, and then we're gonna start our flight basically. Minsk ground, good evening, Arcfly 042 Papa at stand 8, request radio check on frequency 129.905.
Arcfly 042 Papa to ground, good evening sir, visibility 5.
Alright, that's clear. He reaches 5, so everything is working. It's always good to have a radio check to make sure that your microphone is working, that your speakers are working, and for me that the recording settings are also working. So let's take a look. I think we can ask clearance. We have most of the information already. We have information Golf. It's going to be the Cuban 1 Alpha departure, runway 13, and only the squawk is unknown. So let's take a look. And Arcfly 042 Papa, we have information Golf requesting IFR clearance to Helsinki.
Arcfly 042 Papa, equity destination of flight level 360 via Cuban 1 Alpha, departure runway 13. Initial climb to flight level 80, which is squawk 2167. Departure frequency 125.25.
We're clear to Helsinki at flight level 360 via the Cuban 1 Alpha arrival, runway 13, initially climb flight level 80 and squawk 2167, and the departure frequency 125.25 for Arcfly 042 Papa.
Classified 0425 Papa, that's correct.
Alright, so that's clear. We're gonna enter the squawk code in here, the 2167. 2167. And once we arrive at the runway, we can activate the squawk. Take a look. If you depart now, okay, that's all fine. Okay, so we're gonna prepare the aircraft for startup. Let's take a look. I'm gonna turn the overhead lights off, and I'm gonna, oops, just drop the paper. I like the lighting of the Boeing 767. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we have to initially climb to flight level 80. That's very clear. And that's about it, I guess. We have the APU running. I'm just gonna turn on anti-collision lights because we're gonna start our engines in a few moments. Can turn the backs off. Alright, so we're gonna request pushback in a few moments. I'm just gonna tune the right frequency. I'm actually gonna use my remote flight app. Works a little bit better. Alright. The next frequency is 118.3. Alright, we're gonna ask for startup and pushback. And Arc Fly 042 Papa is fully ready for startup and pushback.
Okay, 0425 pushback, startup approach to the face to the east.
Because he has the wrong frequency, right? Or wrong call sign. And Arc Fly 042 Papa, startup and pushback approved, facing east. Alright, it's a bit hard to face east actually, so I'm gonna break the rules and actually just push back straight ahead, straight. Alright, so we have the packs off and APU is running, okay. We're gonna disconnect the parking brake and start the pushback, and we're gonna start engine number 2 first. Go. And we're going to add fuel. Make sure our aircraft doesn't go too far into the grass or anything. Alright, successfully started, and we're gonna start engine number 1. Give enough start pressure. Okay, we'll stop the pushback right now. Set the parking brake. And we're gonna add fuel. And engine number 1 has started successfully. Alright, that's good. We'll turn the engine bleeds on, the isolation switch is closed, packs on, APU bleed off, and we can turn the APU off itself. Just to be sure, I'm going to use engine anti-ice, and we can turn the center pumps off. Alright, so we have plenty of fuel upon our arrival. We're going to set flaps 5. There we go. Just going to do a quick check on the flight controls. Alright, it seems to be working fine. And rudder. And we're going to ask for taxi clearance. And ArcFly 042 Papa request taxi.
Okay, sir, flight 042 Papa, next punch runway 13 via taxiway Delta Alpha.
Taxi to runway 13 via taxiway Delta and Alpha, ArcFly 042 Papa, thank you. Alright. Let's see what the cabin is saying.
Captain, the aft section seems rather warm. Could we have the heat down in the rear, please?
Alright then. We'll turn the heat down and we're gonna start our taxi right now. So we're gonna taxi a little bit to the left right now. Taxiway Delta and then onto Alpha, and then it should be pretty fine. Alright. So for departure our flaps are set at 5. Engine NTI is on. We still have to activate the strobe lights, and also the transponder needs to be set to active, of course, so we can have TCAS. So we're turning left here onto Delta. It is very dark here. These taxiways don't have lighting. Only the taxiways down the runway have lighting, actually.
Cabin crew, seats for departure, please.
Turn right here on Alpha. He said we should have pushed back to facing east, but I think he meant west, as we are taxiing to the west, the northwest right now. But it worked out fine. Okay, 118.3 is the next frequency, departure frequency 125.25. I'm not sure yet whether we actually get a handle by tower. I couldn't read that in the procedures, but we'll see what happens. We'll just ask tower. Okay, and then we're fully ready for departure, I think. And we'll initially climb to flight level 80. It's a very narrow taxiway, as you can see.
Flight 42 Papa, contact with tower 118.30.
Contact tower on 118.30, ArcFly 042 Papa, bye bye.
Right.
Minsk Tower, good evening, ArcFly 042 Papa, fully ready for runway 13. He's not responding. Minsk Tower, good evening, ArcFly 042 Papa, fully ready, runway 13.
Artify 042 Papa, good evening, Mr. Travel, wind 170 degrees, 3 meters per second, runway 13 clear for takeoff, and after takeoff, contact 125.25, thank you for 5, bye bye.
Roger, clear for takeoff runway 13, and after takeoff contact 125.25 for Artify 042 Papa, thank you. Alright, there we go. Let's take a look. Activate. T-gas. White strobes on. And our landing lights. Okay, so I see that it's not really drawn very well on the navigation display, but we're gonna have to climb straight ahead, and then at 1300 we're gonna make a left turn, heading 307. So that's kind of what we have to do. Alright, all set. Start recording, and advance to 40%. And we're going to set takeoff thrust. Thrust is set. Gear up. And Minsk departure, good evening. Arcfly 042 Papa, passing 1400 feet.
Arcfly 042 Papa, Minsk radar, good evening, sir. Identified, climb to flight level 80.
Climb to flight level 80, Arcfly 042 Papa. Okay, so we're gonna head it. Go ahead to flight level 307. Sorry, heading 307. Switch to flight level change.
Arcfly 042 Papa, climb to flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, Arcfly 042 Papa. There's something wrong at the FMC.
Arcfly 042 Papa, contact approach 125.9. So nice flight, bye.
Contact approach on 121.9er Arcfly 125.9er Arcfly 042 Papa. 125.9er. Okay, there's something wrong here. Just fly direct to Kuban now. I'm not sure if it's correct, but we'll just have to deal with it. Gonna flaps up, and we're gonna switch to VNAV to 5.9er. Minsk approach, good evening, Arcfly 042 Papa, passing flight level 110 for flight level 150.
Arcfly 042 Papa, Minsk approach, good evening, sir. Climb to flight level 180. Report estimated flight level over
Climb flight level 180 and standby. Arcfly 042 Papa. Arcfly 042 Papa, we expect to be at our cruising altitude at Kubin.
Arcfly 042 Papa, Roger, thank you.
Oh, I don't think that's correct actually.
Украина, Атлантик 2709, Минск, подход, добрый вечер экипажу, ждать. Break. Arcfly 042 Papa, climb to flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Arcfly 042 Papa, and I have to make a correction to my previous transmission. It's going to be flight level 210 at Kubin.
Arcfly 042 Papa, Roger.
Alright. Phew, what an hectic departure again. But since it's the first time I'm flying from Minsk, of course there are some difficulties always.
Arcfly 042 Papa, climb to flight level 360. Report passing flight level 190 to Minsk control. 129er. 129er decimal 0. Have a good flight, safe rating. Thank you, bye.
Roger, climb to flight level 360 and report passing flight level 190 at Minsk radar on 129er decimal 0, Arcfly 042 Papa. Bye bye. Alright, so we're gonna switch to Minsk radar now. Let's go to VNAV. Alright. Minsk radar, good evening. Arcfly 042 Papa, passing flight level 193 for flight level 360.
Arcfly 042 Papa, good evening, Minsk control. Radar contact, climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, Arcfly 042 Papa. I don't know what the aircraft is doing, but it's not correct. He wants to descend, but I want him to climb, of course. I'll just switch to flight level change for a little while. In that way nothing goes wrong. And we can turn off the taxi lights. Put the gear to off. Flaps are up. And the backs are on auto. Everything is set right here. Okay. There's quite a bit of turbulence around. Climb direct. Of course, I'm also having to get used to flying the level D Boeing 767. I'm always flying the 737 actually, but it's always a bit new, of course, but it's working pretty well, I think, so far. Of course, the departure didn't went very well when I had to intercept the the VOR. I had to prepare that a little bit better, but eventually didn't hear any complaints from the controller, so I guess it was fine. And there are quite a bit of clouds overhead, as you can see. And the aircraft is shaking quite a lot. We're going nicely, as you can see. And as expected, we have quite a lot of crosswind up here. Very strong winds, actually. but I guess we should be fine. Of course, it's always better to have a little bit of tailwind at least. I mean, that will speed up the flight a little bit. And we are out of the turbulence, and we're now climbing nicely to flight level 360. Alright, there we go. We are almost at our cruising altitude. 1,000 below. And the standard QNH is set. And we're gonna turn off anti-ice, it's not necessary anymore. And there we go. We'll go into our cruising altitude. Let's see, we have econ speed .786 Mach. As you can see, it's also in the FMC right here. And with this speed, our current arrival time is 20:02 Zulu. So, yeah, that's a nice and little short flight. You know, the flights that I like more than the long haul flights. However, I do want to make a long haul flight sometime, maybe an Atlantic crossing for a VATSIM video like this. Of course, it's a lot of fun. But time is a major issue, of course. I mean, I just don't have really time to sit behind the computer for 7 to 8 hours. So I prefer the short flight as always, and yeah, make as many takeoffs and landings as possible. Hopefully, good takeoffs, and not this one. I should have prepared better during the departure, but yeah, that's just bad luck. Next time better. Of course, every airport is new, and every country has its own, you know, little rules. But in general, I think for the first time we did pretty well on the departure, except for the fact that we didn't intercept the VOR radio. And that's why the VNF system went crazy, because I wanted to, you know, look up the radio, but it didn't work out. So that's why you can always, you know, just change to flight level change modes, just keep climbing and make sure that you at least go to the first waypoint of your SID, although it's not correct, of course, but I guess in this case it was the best thing to do. And the safest thing to do, of course. Alright, so we're now inbound Dubin, and yeah, a little bit over 160 nautical miles, as you can see on the navigation display. We will reach our top of descent already. And I'll take a look what kind of ATC there is in Helsinki right now. If I saw it correctly in the bookings, Helsinki approach should be online. So I'll just make a screenshot. As always, in this case we're not following a real flight or anything, but of course it's a lot of fun to see where we actually are. And I'll just do it right now. There we go. So in a few moments we'll cross the Latvian border, as expected during the briefing. And then we're going to cross Estonia. I guess somewhere in Estonia we're going to start a descent into Helsinki.
I've been talking on 747, requesting follow-up 370.
Clam 747, you're just about to leave Minsk airspace. Monitor UNICOM 122.8. Enjoy your flight. See ya.
Rider 747, 128. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, so unfortunately there's not ATC over the Baltics. Maybe it will show up, you never know, but currently there's no ATC there, so I guess we have to initiate our descent ourselves, and then at some point Helsinki approach will contact us to factor us to final for runway 04 left. If I'm correct, that runway is still active. I'll just check the ATIS on the VATMap app. There we go. I'll make a screenshot again. Yes. Expect ILS approach, arrival runway 04 left, departure runway 04 right. Transition level is 55, and the wind is 020 degrees 6 knots. 6 knots. Visibility 8 kilometers. Light drizzle. few 100 feet, broken 300 feet. So there's a very low cloud layer. So it's going to be a foggy approach, I guess. So I hope we see the runway in time. I guess it's in a Category 2 approach. ILS Category 2. If I'm correct. So it's not Category 3, so it's... We have pretty low minimums, but... Oh no, it's Category 1 actually.
Minsk, good evening, Smoke 356, Hotel 290, information hotel, with you.
Category 2. It's Category 2. So... Yeah. Hopefully it's sufficient. A lot of Russian talking. We're now turning into Latvia, so I guess we're gonna get a handoff very soon. As we pass over this huge cloud layer. He's not giving us a handoff yet. Or actually, it's not really a handoff, it's kind of a frequency change approved thing to switch to UNICOM. But it's always handy to monitor UNICOM at least to keep track of aircraft in your neighborhood and to, make sure what other airplanes are doing in your vicinity, so you don't run into each other. Of course, there's always TCAS, but it's not always sure whether TCAS completely works in Flight Simulator. Some people have their transponders turned off, and then it doesn't work, of course. So. And of course, using apps like VATMap. Also make sure that you can keep your distance from other traffic. I don't think we apply
Fly 042 Papa, live in Minsk airspace, monitor 122.8, enjoy your flight, see ya.
Roger, monitor Unicom 122.8, Arca Fly 042 Papa. Thank you, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, so we're gonna switch to Unicom. So there is no ATC up until Helsinki, but that's not a very big problem, I guess. Gives me an opportunity to review the approach in a few moments and to, at least prepare well for the approach. I've never flown into Helsinki either, so it's going to be the first time. But the airport is has quite a good layout, and the ILS approach is not too difficult. Only thing to worry about is the fog, I guess, and the low cloud layers, and hopefully we'll be able to see the runway in time. Otherwise, we have to go around and maybe divert to Tallinn, or maybe to Riga. Maybe I think Riga Tower is online, so we can also divert to Riga if we have enough fuel. But in first place, we're gonna divert to Tallinn. It's a little bit closer, and if the weather is good there. At least better than in Helsinki, then we'll divert there. Alright guys, we have about 10 minutes before we reach our top of descent, so let's review the approach for a little bit. So our last waypoint, as discussed, is the waypoint Intor, and we're just going to descend on a profile until we get instructions from Helsinki approach. And basically the Intor arrival, let's take a look. The Intor 3 Bravo arrival basically means we're gonna fly to Intor, then a couple of waypoints to line us up for the approach on the ILS. So it's very simple. We'll just descend on the glide path on the approach, and for the star we just follow the profile. So we have to be at the last waypoint, Podom, at or above 2,300 feet. So that's the altitude, and we have to be at Podom, and that's also entered in the FMC, as you can see here. And then Ezara, 2,300 feet. So let's take a look at the ILS approach chart. As you can see, Podom, Ezara, 2,300 feet. At that point, we're going to start our descent on a heading inbound course of 039 degrees at 2,300 feet, and then just a normal 3 degree glide slope down to the runway. Minimums are 114 for this aircraft. Let's enter that here. 114. Auto brakes are 2. We're going to use 30 degrees of flaps, 135 knots, and we'll probably have a wind correction. Let's see, the current wind is 360 degrees 8 knots, so wind correction of 4. Okay, we're going to reset our MCP altitude already. So I'll just pick a random number. Let's see what altitude we are at Intor. Flight level 103. Let's go to flight level 110 for the moment. There we go. So I've entered the ILS frequency already, 111.900, and an inbound course of 039 degrees. And so it's a very straightforward ILS approach, and the missed approach procedure is not that hard either in case of a missed approach. So if we don't see the runway at the desired altitude, we're gonna climb on track 039 degrees until 0. DME of Hotel Tango Victor, that's the localizer, or turning altitude 580, whichever is later. So either at 580 feet or 0.2 DME, we're gonna turn left onto a track of 355 degrees, and on that track we're gonna climb to 3,000 feet, and then we can expect radar factoring. So that's very simple. Alright, and the current QNH at Helsinki is 1007, and that's about it. Okay, and once we arrive at Helsinki on the runway, as you can see, it's a pretty large runway. I think we're gonna vacate at Whiskey Kilo, and then probably via Whiskey and Golf to Papa Golf, to cross runway 04 right, and then to the apron to one of the stands on the terminals. I guess either Terminal 1 or Terminal 2. Okay, so that's a bit of a review of the approach. Now we know what to do, and we are starting our descent, as you can see already. And yeah, we should be fine. We'll just wait for Helsinki approach to call us, and then we should be pretty good to go. So it's a nice and short flight, of course, and we can start our descent already. Just view the airports on the map, and as you can see, we're now in Estonia, and there's a huge cloud layer. We have absolutely not seen any single bit of ground, or oh wow, it just cleared up. Did you see that? So we are flying over a city here. I'm not sure which city that is. I have no idea, actually. Somewhere in between Estonia and Latvia. So I hope the visibility at Helsinki is a bit good enough for a normal ILS Category 2 ILS approach. I guess we should be fine. The cloud layer, let's see, there's a cloud layer at 500 feet, which is overcast. 300 feet is broken, and few at 100 feet, so we should be, below 300 feet we should be fine, I guess. And I hope the weather add-on Active Sky has interpreted it correctly, so that we don't run any trouble. And if we need to go around, we'll just go around, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so we are now turning direct to Arsam, and we are almost heading over the Baltic Sea. We're now close to Tallinn. You can also see that on the navigation display right here with the VOR station. And I hope that Helsinki approach will contact us soon, so we can get some ATC. And because we get factors probably, so we can shorten our route a little, so we arrive nicely on time at 9 o'clock my local time, which is 8 o'clock Zulu. As you can see, it's now 19:39, so it's about 20 minutes until we arrive in Helsinki. And we got a little bit of tailwind right now as well, so it speeds things a little bit up. Alright, I've set everything for the approach. The frequency is in there. I've also tuned some VOR frequencies in the neighborhood. And the overhead panel, everything will be set. We'll turn on the landing lights and taxi light, of course. And after landing, we'll turn on the APU, so we have some electricity and some air for the cabin when we arrive. And the ILS frequency is set. We're now 122.8, as you can see, and yeah, we should be pretty good to go this way. It's always good to prepare your aircraft fully, you know, during the cruise for the approach. Review the approach yourself. If you're flying with another person, review the approach with him or her, and make sure that everything is clear and that you're aware of the procedures. Because, of course, the approach is probably the most busy time of your flight, even more than a departure. Well, maybe that's not really true, I don't know. I think the approach is quite busy. I mean, you get a lot of instructions, a lot of factors, altitude instructions, and there might be restrictions on your routes and things like that, so it's always good to be prepared for the approach very well. And of course for the departure as well. Better than I did during this departure, but... Alright, we're heading into the deep and large clouds, as you can see. And let's see, our current arrival time will be 8 Zulu. That's perfect. I've set the auto brakes at 2, and that should give us plenty of braking power to vacate the runway at the point as discussed, which is, what is it again? Whiskey Kilo. We try to vacate a Whiskey Kilo. Okay, and then we'll taxi to the apron. And I'll just take a look if there's any traffic around at Helsinki. I think this guy is not very busy. No, I'm the only one who's arriving at the moment, so I'm sure he's happy to see some traffic. And next time I will make sure that I'll make a video during the event again. But because of the, I was very busy lately and didn't really have time to prepare that well for this flight, so I didn't want to go to an event, and I didn't fly until maybe 2 months ago. It's been a while actually. So, it's always, when you've not flown for many months, it's always good to, take it easy, make your first flight on a non-event day, and then slowly join events again. So that's why I did as well. There we go. 12985. Alright, there we go. Helsinki 2985. Alright. Helsinki, good evening. Arca Fly 042 Papa, passing flight 145, inbound Intor. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It just reminded me.
Arca Fly 042 Papa, good evening. I think radar. Squawk 7025.
Squawk 7025, Arca Fly 042 Papa. 025 is set. I just realized I should only set my call sign. I forgot. Oh, sorry.
Arca Fly 042 Papa, radar contact cleared into 3 Bravo arrival. Expect ILS runway 04 left and stop descend at flight level 80.
Roger, cleared to enter the 3 Bravo arrival for ILS runway 04 left and stop descent at flight level 80, Arc Fly 042 Papa. Alright, that's very clear. And we have entered that in the FMC. And we're going to stop our descent at flight level 80. Alright, very good. And we're hitting the turbulence as we are entering the clouds slowly. And we have some light headwinds currently.
Argus Flight 042 Papa, leave Balti on heading 300. Vectors for ILS 04 left.
Roger, leave Balti at heading 300 Arcafly 042 Papa. Alright, so we keep that in mind. After Balti we're gonna fly heading 300. I'm sure there's a way to enter that in the FMC, but I'm just gonna do it the conventional way. Just using the heading select mode and then fly heading 300. And then we're gonna get vectors, so I'm sure we're gonna shorten our route a little bit in that way. And we're now passing flight level 110, and the aircraft is gonna decelerate to 250 knots, or I think 240 knots actually. To give us a nice and stable approach into Helsinki. It's a shame that there's not a lot of traffic around. It always makes things more exciting. Also, in my previous VATSIM video, of course, from Zurich to Copenhagen, it was very busy at Copenhagen. I actually had to make kind of an orbit for the approach, so it took a little bit longer, and it's always more exciting, of course. But this is okay, given the fact that I haven't flown for a while, so, and especially not in the 767. I mean, you're so used to flying the 737, so yeah, that's always a little bit different, of course. Alright, we've got quite a bit of turbulence currently. And I'm just gonna set the heading buck to 300, which will basically take us onto the to the base leg of runway 04 left. Okay, I'm gonna make the turn right now. As you can see on the navigation display. Sorry. LNF. Okay, outboard is turned back on. And we're reaching flight level 80. And I'm gonna go to heading select mode. And I'll just use flight level change for the next part. 240 knots. And as you can see, this looks very foggy. Really kind of a cloud surfing cloud layer. If it would be sunset or sunrise right now, that would look really awesome, of course, but especially in the real world. But I'm afraid Flight Simulator is not very good at really representing those cloud layers. You know.
Arcus Flight 042 Papa, distance 5,000 feet, QNH 1007. You have approximately 3.5 track miles to go.
Roger, and descend to 5,000 feet on QNH 101, correction QNH 1007, Arcafly 042 Papa, thank you. Alright, we're going to set the QNH to 1007. That is correct. And as you can see, the ILS is already showing up on in PFD right now, which would imply that we are a little bit too high. So I'm going to descend a little bit faster by applying some speed brakes.
Flight 042 Papa, descend 3,000 feet, 25 track miles to go.
Descend 3,000 feet, Fly 042 Papa. Getting closer and closer to this big cloud layer. And I can already see the lights right there. Okay, I'm just gonna turn the landing lights on already. The lights are flickering a bit through the clouds. Of course, it's a little bit of a limitation of Flight Simulator, but okay, let's arm the speed brakes. I'm gonna reduce to 180 knots. At 3,000 feet. Gonna select flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Alpha 042 Papa, turn right heading 010, descend 2,300.
Turn right heading 010, descend 2,300, Fly 042 Papa.
Alpha 042 Papa, cleared ILS, runway 04 left.
And cleared ILS, runway 04 left, Fly 042 Papa, thank you. Alright, we'll select flaps 5. And very low clouds. Take a look at that. Arm the approach mode. To 180.
2,500.
Switch to approach mode. There we go. We're capturing the localizer. I'm going to fly on a heading of 039er. 8.1 DME. And we'll reduce speed to 160 knots. And I can't see any runway yet, so it's going to be exciting. Alright, gear down, flaps 20. So let's see, that will be a very late disengaging of autopilots, I guess. The lights are a bit annoying, but they are beautiful though. And our final approach speed is going to be 139 knots at flaps 30.
Arctic 5042 Papa, winds 350 decreased, 7 knots, runway 04 left, clear to land.
Clear to land runway 04 left, Arca fly 042 Papa. Thank you. Alright, 139 knots. Runway not in sight, and flaps 30. I saw some lights there, yeah. Not fully yet though. I'm gonna keep the autopilots engaged. It's hardly visible. But I can see the approach lights, so we're good to go. Okay, runway in sight. Disconnecting autopilots and disconnecting auto throttle. And we'll continue manually. A little bit of wind from the left.
Minimums.
Continue. Landing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Quite a late landing. Flying reverse thrust. And 60 knots ground speeds. Let's take a look. Don't want to stop, of course. And we're vacating nicely at Whiskey Kilo. Flaps back up. And Arca fly 042 Papa, runway 04 left, vacated.
042 Papa, welcome to Helsinki. Continue straight via Whiskey, then right onto Golf and hold short of runway 04 right at Papa Golf.
Roger, continue via Whiskey Golf and hold short of runway 04 right at Papa Golf, Arca fly 042 Papa. Okay, we'll turn right here on Golf. And the airport is totally empty, unfortunately. It's not very busy at all. It's a bit of a sharp turn. And Helsinki is an exception to the rule, at least the VATSIM Helsinki, of turning your transponder off. Because here we have to keep the transponder on mode Charlie, at least that's what in the ATIS, so.
Arca fly 042 Papa, cross runway 04 right and taxi via Victor Golf to gate 33.
Roger, cross runway 04 right and taxi via Victor Golf to gate 33, Arca fly 042 Papa. Okay, let's take a look which gate that is. Oh, that's straight ahead, isn't it? Almost. Victor Golf is straight ahead. This is not Victor Golf. Or are we on the wrong taxiway right now? It's a bit unclear. We're now on Zulu 5, I'm afraid. But I couldn't see any runway alignment. Couldn't see any taxi alignment there, so. I think we've taxied too far. Am I right? Yes, we have. Arc Fly 042 Papa, it seems that we have taxied one runway too far. Can we make a left turn here?
To Papa, yes, no problem. Take a left here and continue via Alpha Victor to gate 33.
Watch your turn left here and via Alpha Victor go to gate 33, Arc Fly 042 Papa. Thank you. Alright. And this way we'll still make it, of course. To gate 33. This one, gate 34. And this is gate 33. Let's try the AP1. Okay, there we go. It's the wrong aircraft, but it should work also for this airplane. Here we are. We'll set the parking brake. And we're going to turn the engine off. And Arc Fly 042 Papa is on the blocks. Thanks for the ATC service. Good night.
Zero 42 Papa, thank you very much for flying. I'll see you next time. Good night. Bye bye.
Alright. There we go. We have arrived safely in Helsinki. Let's turn the lights up a little. So, this was quite a good flight. A bit of a hectic departure again out of Minsk. And the arrival in Helsinki went fine. Eventually, the runway was in sight very well. And yeah, of course, the only problem here was the taxiway. I taxied a bit too far, but it was okay to turn back Luckily there was no traffic there at all, so that was fine. So thanks for watching this VATSIM video. Of course there are many more VATSIM videos, and this was a bit more of an extensive video compared to the other ones, but yeah, I hope at least this video helped you, get a few people flying on the VATSIM network. Of course I made some regular tutorial videos, but here you can really see it into practice. And yeah, all those other videos are very nice as well. From Copenhagen to Zurich is a very busy flight. From Bratislava to Prague is a very beautiful flight. And also from Amsterdam to Vienna and from London to Amsterdam. So there's plenty of choice. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope to make another video sometime, maybe during an event, so it will be a bit more busy and a lot more traffic. And yeah, maybe again with the 767 or the Embraer. It really depends, of course. Maybe I'll let you have a vote again, and maybe also another flight into Scandinavia, which also would be very nice, of course. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.